Welcome into the live stream. I am We-On-Loc Nation, and I have a message for Mrs. Jasmine Crockett. We-On-Loc Nation. Sorry about that. I have a message for Mrs. Jasmine Crockett, but before I get into that message, I would like for you to hit like, share, and subscribe to the We-On-Loc Nation channel. And like, share, and subscribe as it's described down below. We will be getting into other projects as far as the shutdown and all this other stuff was supposedly ending by Wednesday or Thursday. The Republicans are finally going to cave in due to Ted Cruz, I believe. But we'll get into all that a little later on. This week, sometime this week, I will be doing some other projects in the near future, but I just want to inform you all, thank you, or I want to tell you all, thank you. Thank you for the support, those who are subscribed to the channel, thank you. Those who are members, I also thank you as well. Now, let's get into it. Mrs. Jasmine Crockett is a very busy individual. She's gone state to state to state, country to country, and she is promoting goodness. In my belief, she is promoting goodness amongst the people. When it comes to immigration reforms and other stuff that I'm still learning on the fly, I believe she is going to be good for this country due to the simple fact that not only is she courageous, she is very, well, everybody knows she's intelligent and also, intelligent, practices integrity. Hell, she is integrity. She doesn't back down from anyone. That much is certain. Not even a so-called president. Not even a so-called president who lacks communication skills. I mean, he's supposed to be a president. Let me just put it in terms that maybe you and I can agree on. A president is not supposed to attack a person hyperbole. He or she is not supposed to attack a congresswoman, a congressman, former colleagues or anybody like that with, such teenage philosophy. He's not supposed to point fingers and reduce himself to a 12-year-old. No. He's supposed to do it with class and with a little bit of swag in. 10% swag, 90% truth. Facts over feelings, right? This man attacked not only Jasmine Crockett, she attacked basically women of color. He does like Black women. He does not like any type of woman who does not bend to his will. And I say it is high time that he started to become impeached. He should be impeached for a lot of things. Number one, he's a liar, a deceiver, a manipulator, violating violating the constitutional laws. He doesn't care for the laws. He doesn't care for pretty much at all. Destruction of property, White House, just all kinds of things. And we can go through all the lists and the details. You can go through old videos. As a matter of fact, I will revert you to a YouTuber named Dean Withers. Dean Withers is a person who 21 years of age, by the way, who debates MAGAs. I call them maggots. Anytime a maggot wants to go and debate why Trump is good for the country, and you can go over to his page and you can actually debate him. Some people go over there and they just they can't handle this guy. Others, they just don't want to debate. They just want to act stupid and just spit out slang words and it's just whatever. I'm learning how this world works. Anytime you start winning, right? Anytime you start winning, you revert these people revert themselves to little kids, just little bastardized kids. And I don't mean everybody, but they just pervert themselves to just the lowest center of scumbags on the earth. And of course, you know, some of them pop out in words left and right, you know, the F words. I mean, are we here for a debate or are we not here for a debate? Most of them are young, but this guy, you know, he even debates elderly people. They come on to his show and they debate elderly people about Trump and his nonsense. But this is not about Trump. This is about Jasmine. I was just going ahead and just referring to Dean Withers. And another person I'm going to refer you to is Reese Waters. Reese Waters is magnifico. I mean, I don't know why Lisa preferred me to this guy, but this guy is, I mean, he's somebody that I listen to, point blank, hands down. He comes up on there and he gives you the latest news on any and everything, adding a little bit of swag, adding a little bit of comedy, but most importantly, giving you 100% truth. I don't know if he's a Democrat or a Republican or I know he's not a Republican because he don't act like it. He might be an independent, but guy's good. So those are the two I refer you to. Those are the two I definitely would prefer you to. And like, share, and subscribe to their channels. Now, before I get into my message to Mrs. Crockett, because like I said, she's a busy individual, I'm just gonna play a little clip. Nothing to drive on the mommy and daddy about. Just her interviewing. I forgot who the guy was, but I'm gonna go ahead and set up my notes and enjoy.
Right now, news that we have right now is that Donald Trump spends his Halloween hosting a Gatsby party, as if the imagery wasn't already strong enough with him recreating his bathroom in marble and building a $350 million ballroom, adorning his Oval Office in gold. And so what do you make of the fact that this is how he decided to spend his time? These are the optics he was trying to put forward at the same time that we have millions upon millions of Americans wondering how they're going to eat and afford health care.
Yeah, I mean, he's made it very clear that he just doesn't care. The question is, will people be wise enough to see that it's not just Donald Trump? Donald Trump doesn't care, but he is afforded an opportunity not to care because of the people that he surrounds himself with, including House Republicans and Senate Republicans. The reason that people may not eat is because there's no pushback even within his own party to say, no, Mr. President, there are emergency funds and you need to make sure that you tap into those emergency funds. Or Mr. President, instead of having a party, maybe we sit down in the Oval Office and maybe we negotiate an end to this stalemate, but no one around him is saying prioritize the very people that made it possible for you to sit on high, and obviously you are looking low.
Nothing kind of exemplifies that better than the fact that all this time we had Trump and Mike Johnson saying, oh, we can't possibly tap into this contingency fund because it's not used in this kind of an emergency. We need to keep it for some other emergency that may happen at some arbitrary date in the future. But then we had two judges come forward and say that you have to use these contingency funds, undermining Mike Johnson's argument, which would be bad enough unto itself because it puts on full display the extent to which Mike Johnson lied. But the response from this administration was, we are going to appeal. So they were giving me out, and they were told, no, it's okay, you can use these funds, and so you can feed these people who need food. And the administration's response to this was, we're going to appeal this decision because we don't want to be forced to be able to feed people who need these SNAP benefits. And so what's your response to that?
You know, people complain about democratic messaging. And I'm going to be perfectly honest. The clearest message is actually coming from the president and this administration themselves. There's really not much for us to say. It is clear that they are not prioritizing the least, like sufficient people that are trying their best. And I don't understand how it is that you can be a president of the United States and leave anybody out of that equation. But it's become very clear that if you are not rich, if you are not male, straight, and white, then most likely you won't be a priority. But this is so, I mean, to come from being elected by people that said that they were about Christian values. So that's why I use that language, the least of these, because that is biblical language, right? Right? What you do for the least of these ones me. And I honestly could not agree more. He's probably not going to be on that
list. A rare point of agreement.
Yes.
We're going to hold up on that part. I read Judges all the time. Read Judges and I do read Acts, so I'm just gonna let that go right there.
Yeah. He's probably not going to be on the list of the pearly gates because if you understand anything about what he is doing, this love they people to wake up because you felt like he was going to bring down the cost of food, because you felt like he was going to bring down the cost of food, the cost of housing, or whatever. It is time to wake up and recognize that it doesn't about job. We know record 1 million people that have lost jobs, and it's not even been a year since he's been in. He is killing our economy, and the only people that are getting richer are him and his family members, as he's decided that he is going to give some new contract to his son. That is what he's decided. His son all of a sudden has a drone company, and now the United States government is going to feed him and give money to him. He's also decided in the midst of
I think that would be his youngest son. And his youngest son has no idea even how to invent or how a drone works. But you're going to give your son a drone company.
Saying that we don't have enough money for healthcare, we don't have enough money for SNAP benefits, but I need to dig into the piggy bank and I need to get over $200 million because I feel like the federal government wrongs me. This guy does not care. I don't know what else it is that anybody can say, because he is saying it all for his own self.
Yeah, I get you. I get you, Mama. I get you, Mama, that, I mean, you don't trust the Democratic Party or the Republican. That's why we are both, you and I are both independent. But it's just you hear me out. And I'm gonna get into the rant later. There's just something about Jasmine that it just yells it to me. Something is there. I can't really explain to you right now, maybe a little later, what it is about Jasmine that will make me vote for her 10 times over. more than I did for Barack Obama, but I was young and didn't know anything about politics then. I was young and I was like very, very fresh. I was very, very green. So I understand where you're coming from. I really do. But I'm not saying to vote straight Democrat. I'm not telling anybody to vote straight Republican. You can do a variety of both. You can vote Democrat here or Republican there. That's what we would call an independent, right? But I mean, as far as, but is to tell you the truth, I did not vote for Kamala, nor did I vote for this raggedy, good for nothing scumbag in office right now, Donald Trump. I believe there wasn't any strong candidates. I mean, you already had Joe Biden, who was in his first term, couldn't complete his first term due to the fact that he was sick. But I mean, they weren't going to let her in office anyway. But I believe if we make enough noise, that she would definitely gain some attention, more traction. And if she volunteers for it, now remember, she is going for U.S. Senate, which is a good thing, which is a very good thing. But I myself, I'm not asking for anybody else. I myself, and I'm going to get into the rant in a minute, I myself feel that she can be pushed even higher, even in a more higher result. Now, will she think about it? Will she kowtow to it? Who knows? 3 years is a long way to go. 3 years with this dude, we'll see. We will see. Let me continue with this and give me a minute and we'll just rock with it.
You talked about this idea of Christianity, and I don't know how much more on the nose you can get that you were acting in a way that's antithetical to your own religious beliefs, than withholding medicine and withholding food, like healthcare to the sick and food to the hungry. And so what do you say to Mike Johnson in light of the fact that because of these rulings, we now know that the contingency funds were able to be released to the hungry, and it was the only bulwark to that, the only barrier to that was Mike Johnson himself.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Johnson said it. He doesn't want people to eat because he feels like then the Democrats may not take.
Right.
I mean, he made it clear.
Right.
And so you've got to understand, we're supposed to be public servants. And right now, we are not serving the public whatsoever. Everything that they're getting is nothing but hate and harm. And so people have to say, I require more. People have to say, you know what? I am someone who has always voted, say, this way. But this way is not working for my life. I have to do something different if I want to make sure that this world is going to survive and be better for my children and generations to come. It is time for us to wake up and start voting in our own best interest. Be very selfish about that vote and say, I'm going to vote for the person that's going to make sure that my small business can survive instead of being under attack by these tariffs that don't make sense. Or I am a farmer and I am going to vote in my own best interest, as right now we are looking at filing bankruptcy, or we've already filed bankruptcy, and I anticipated that this farm is going to stay in our family for even more generations. You have to
I didn't know they filed bankruptcy. Interesting.
Say, I am going to prioritize me. And by prioritizing me, that means that you can't continue to give people who refuse to govern an opportunity to inflict more harm. You can't rely on Democrats to just come and clean it up every time that they mess up. It is time for you to prioritize yourself.
We're about a month into this shutdown. If I'm not mistaken, this is the longest shutdown that we've had in modern American history.
I don't know if we hit the number yet, but we're close.
We're
It's not there.
close.
Yeah.
And I have no doubt that we'll get there. That's one milestone I don't doubt that Mike Johnson will be able to notch for himself. There is this very reductive talk.
5 weeks in, yes.
talking point on the right that all Democrats have to do is just give those 7 votes and they can reopen the government like that. Why is it important that Democrats use what little leverage they have right now in advance of the government opening back up and try and get what they need here?
You know, right now they're basically saying we want the Democrats to choose between healthcare or food.
Right.
That is an impossible.
Pitting the sick against the hungry.
And frankly, a lot of times the sick are most likely potentially going to be hungry as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of overlap in that, right? And so the idea that it is a false choice that they are asking us to make. Those of us that believe in our stations and we believe in our positions and we believe in the idea of swearing an oath to the Constitution and serving the people that put us into office, that is not a choice. That's not a real choice. And to be perfectly honest, if the Republicans want to be the ones to say, hey, we won't hand out food, we just want to make sure that people understand it was the Republicans that did that. Because as you've noted, not only was it a judge out of Rhode Island, but we also got a judge out of Boston, Massachusetts. They both ruled that by law, this is an emergency, right? Like, I mean, I don't know what else could be more emergent than the fact that people, not only did the judge in Rhode Island put in the fact that people would literally go hungry. He talks about the terror, the fear that is overcoming people, not knowing whether or not they will have food, and talking about that being irreparable harm. And that is the standard that he used. I think it was a proper standard, because cutting the food on, say 30 days later, well, who knows how many people are going to survive that 30 days? That is irreparable harm. And so the fact that they don't look at this as an emergency, the fact that they don't even think about this as being an emergency, while at the same time saying that we're under attack by Venezuelans and that's an emergency, or the Enemy Aliens Act needing to be invoked, all these things that we're under attack in this country by immigrants, but you don't see what's happening with people that elected you. Because again, rural America uses more SNAP benefits than urban America. These are your voters. Overwhelmingly, rural America has voted Republican. And so he continues to inflict pain on them. And I just don't know what it is that I could say, because I don't think that I am the proper messenger for his voters. But I really do want his voters to do what they have consistently said Democrats need to stop talking about, which is, I want them to be woke. He wants you to be asleep. He doesn't want you to be conscious of the things that he is doing that is harming you and your family and your communities. Right. These are things that people potentially will not recover from. That's how bad it is.
You said there's an he said, I'll fix that real quick. So what it is I thought I canceled that out. I think I'll reduce that. Let me see if I can have it. Let me know if it continues.
So we've got an opportunity. Obviously, you and I are standing right here in California. We are trying to do everything that we can to push back. We want to make sure that the people remain source of power. And right now, they have basically decided to look at the very people that made it possible for them to be into position, and they're looking like they're nothing. That is what they're treating. That they're nothing, and it's disrespectful, and it's so saddening, and it is absolutely not the Christian thing to do.
Last question here. There has been some reports that you're considering a Senate run in Texas. Yeah. Any reaction to that?
Yeah, so here's the thing. Obviously, people are probably like, it's crazy to think that a Democrat can win Texas. But under these circumstances, I think there's a possibility, number one. Number two, I think if we continue to do what we've done, then we're going to continue to lose. We consistently take a candidate who is a great candidate. We get great candidates with great resumes. And then we say things like, okay, let's spend a lot of money because hopefully everyone will learn that this is a great candidate, not understanding that in a state of 30 million people, it is very expensive and it takes a long time before we can get to the point that people actually know that person's name and know that person's story and believe that that's the person that they need. And so we've got to be very smart about this and do something different. Going with me is different. My name ID is already high, even though I only represent 1/38 of the state. In addition to that, we've got to find somebody that can expand the electorate. And right now, I don't know. I am doing testing. We're having to poll differently to see if there's any candidate that can give us that Obama spark, that can make people say, hey, you know what? I don't know if we can win.
Yeah.
But I really like that Jasmine, or I like that other person. And so I am going to go out, even though I've never voted. I want to do it now. If we can see that there's a trend in people that are saying, you know what, I normally would not vote, but if this person is on the ballot, I will, then we can win. Beto lost by a little less than 200,000 votes. That's nothing in a state of 30 million people.
Right.
So if we feel like we can really expand that electorate, we will run hard. We will run through the tape. We will run a race that we've never seen in the state of Texas. And we'll do everything that we can.
Bet. That is a bet. That is a freaking bet. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. I was like, I knew, and when she said it, like, because I was looking at something a little earlier. That was from months ago. Said, you know, my job is to concentrate on my district, which is the 30th district. Cool, but now she's planning on running for a U.S. Senate, which is a plus. So, with U.S. Senate, she can do some damage. She can do some damage, and I think this is one of the reasons why Trump hates her so much. Is that, you know, only she running for U.S. Senate, and she's young, and she's only 44, 5 years old, and you know she's also a lawyer. Well, quite frankly, you have 3 individuals who are female and also who are lawyers. So not only do you have Jasmine, but you have AOC, who's a lawyer, and you have, of course, Kamala Harris, who is a prosecutor. So they're all 3 of them lawyers, and all 3 of them you were. So even though I wasn't the biggest fan of AOC nor Kamala Harris, it's like, did you hear Kamala Harris? There was an interview that she did, and oh boy, like, oh my, I didn't think she had that mouthpiece. I'm like, oh my gosh. But you know, all right, on to the rant. Your subs are growing like crazy. This content is a good choice for your channel and your audience. I had some good influences. Not saying that I might go back to doing what I'm normally I would do, but I gave the keys to another individual. So if I have to push that emergency button, click, trust me, it's going to be some ranting, because I already got some people in mind who are getting on my nerves, but I'm going to leave that on the back burner for right now, because this country is in shambles. Now, there's a couple of reasons why I want to address before I get into the rant, or I get into the rather, because like I said, she's a busy individual. And of course, if you want to become a member, please click on the membership. And we got great individuals here, and not saying that I am saying that I want to have guests up here, which I will have guests up here, but you know, for right now, we want to strengthen the stream. I'm gonna have to get some things to strengthen up I have to get like a router or something like that. Get a new microphone. I want everything to be crispy. I want everything to be crispy. I want everything to be right. Right now, to admit to myself, this is a little bit janky, but this is the starter kit. So hey, it is what it is. So Jasmine, here we are. If she was in my presence, this is pretty much what I would say versus what I would ask versus what I would expect to do if she was in a certain position. Here it is. And I was at, by the way, I was working. I just had this on my mind. She was just literally on my mind like all week, like literally. What again, she could just do but so much. She can do so much for this country. She's a fresh face, somebody that can relate to. Not everybody in the Black community. Black Moncore, how you doing? Here we go. And forgive me for the nerves. Dear, well, Madam Congressman Jeff Crockett, I'm coming to you in sincerity, honesty, and faith that one of these days you, Jasmine Crockett, a perfect candidate aiming for the president of the United States of America in 2028 / 2032 / 2036. That is it. It's your choice if you want to run or not. I'm not saying that I'm forcing you to or I'm expecting you to. This is something just to linger in your head a little bit. Maybe you can change your mind. Or if you just want to just say, I'm going to stick with U.S. Senate, that's perfectly cool. That's perfectly fine. I'm with it. Whatever you with, I'm with. Right? Love to fight, fam. Always, sir. Always. You know what I forgot to do? I'm gonna put that up there in the background. We're gonna figure out how to strengthen up this. Oh shit! We're gonna figure out how to strengthen up this live stream because, like I said, I want this to be crispy before people can actually come up here. There's very few people that can come up here, that I invite, but we want to make for like when the big hitters come one of these days, we want everything to be right. We want everything to be right. But let me continue. We think you're the perfect candidate. We think you're the perfect candidate for President of the United States 2028, 2032, 2036, on so on and so forth. And plenty of time to, think whatever you want. I was not interested at all in politics. This is the truth. I was not interested at all in politics from the very beginning because people from the right and left, they make all types of false promises and so on and so forth. Democrat and Republican side, amongst all candidates to put in office, the House chose, or I should say, the elitist chose Trump. Disrespecting women. Just because he's white and he's rich and he comes out of his daddy's genes and he was given $1 million when he turned 18 in a trust fund, and it doesn't give him the simple right to create a beauty pageant just to grab a woman by the cooch. I mean, he's I don't want to put him in the Hitler category just yet. I mean, I can if I want to, but that'll be putting it too much. That'll be putting it too much. But anyway, out of all the candidates, I mean, we could get Ross Perot. We can dig Ross Perot up from the grave, and we could put him in there, and we can expect what we can expect. Right? Ross has been dead for decades. So why about Ross Perot? Don't ask. I was young. I was dumb, and I anything about politics. I thought he was a cool dude until I looked into his stuff. I'm like, whoa, what the hell were you thinking? What the hell were you thinking? Pointing to myself. Yeah. The House chose Trump to take control of the so-called free world. And that just did it for me. After Obama's second term was over, I decided that there was no other candidate worthy of my vote. That's the truth. That's the honest truth of it. Shoot. Before my shoot. That is the honest truth. I mean, there was no other candidate in my head I wanted in there. I said it because of their policies. And at the time, I did not see Kamala's policies. I didn't see Kamala's policies until later on, but I mean, they gave her so much money to, but like I said, the elitists wasn't going to let her in there in the first place. And this is why I look at Jasmine. Look at Jasmine. She's young. She's a black female. She's an African-American female. Are they going to let her up in there? Most likely, no. But with the strength, like I said, with the strength of people, with us pushing and continue to push the envelope that this woman is credible enough. I believe that she is credible enough. No disrespect to AOC, no disrespect to Kamala, no disrespect to anybody who is willing to who is willing to run. But that's just who I'm picking. That's just who I would pick. I would never look, for example, I would never come to Barb and I will go, you need to pick this candidate because he's stronger than, let's just say, Hakeem Jeffries if he was running. Or I would tell you to pick Bernie Sanders. Pick Bernie Sanders or you're no good. You're no good to America. I would never do that. I would never do that. I didn't even snap at people when they voted for Trump. I said, you can vote for Trump if you want to, just know the results you're going to get. And we are here. The fact that the shutdown's been up for this long, and they're just now saying that we're going to make a decision Wednesday or Thursday to cancel the shutdown. It's incredible. Meanwhile, your SNAP benefits have run out. People are allegedly taking food and not paying for it. But this leads into more, sorry to say, this leads into more nonsense. And I'm not saying that 100% Black people are actually doing this. I'm not saying that 100% that Black people are going to be stealing, because that's what these separatists, sorry for the Star Wars reference, these what you call them, conservatives. This is what these conservatives look for. They are looking specifically at us, our community, for one Black person. And they're going to say that one Black person is the majority of people who are stealing food and not working for what they want, which is a bunch of BS. You wouldn't be my friend anymore if I picked Bernie. I wouldn't pick Bernie if life depended on it. I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. No disrespect to Bernie, but it's time to go young. I know some very young candidates that will happy to take your place, Bernie. Sit your old ass down somewhere. just sit down. I mean, you done great, Bernie. Bernie, you done great. Time to pass the torch. Time to pass that torch. After Obama's second term, whatever, candidate vote. It wasn't until a friend of mine, I want to give a shout out to Nino, put on a particular clip that when, of course, it was some clip where Jasmine Crockett was in Congress, and her and Marjorie Taylor Greene were going back and forth, and that's when you heard the bad built body. You know that. It's on t-shirts. I'm gonna get a t-shirt with that bad built blonde built body. I'm sorry, I don't even. But that was that did it for me. That did it for me. I was like, who the hell is this woman? And when Nino made me play that clip, I'm like, is she for real serious? Is she for real? Is she for real capping on this? Like, she counting on a white woman. And everybody was confused when she said, like, oh, what does that mean? Like, bad built, let me look it up. And some shit like that. And that's what did it for me. Let's Taylor Greene, and it did the spark, and then yes, it did spark my interest after a while, after hearing her, after weeks went by, then weeks turned to months, so on and so forth. Times passed. I read more and more about our Congresswoman Crockett and what you stood for, which is a lot, which we're going to get to. It's not just, you don't just stand up for your people in your district. You stand up for the U.S. and how you hold people to a certain standard, how you hold even the people in Congress accountable. You know what I mean? When you demand the whole building, right? And people would say that, your lingo and how you act and blah, 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 blah. I mean, of course, if you've seen the whole half-assed Stephen A. Smith apology, give me a thumbs up or give me a 1. If you've seen Stephen A's half-assed apology, give me a thumbs up. Or give me a 1, rather. If you didn't see it, give me a 2. So she reacted to it when I saw the clip. As a matter of fact, I'll even play it. When I saw it, I'm like, this is some half-ass apology. And it's basically he wants to hold every single black woman or every single woman, I should say, to a more higher standard. And I'm like, aren't you a independent? But you act like a Republican. You claim you're independent, but you act like you're a Republican. But a capitalist is not a Democrat. I don't know any capitalist. If you can name me an actual capitalist who is a Democrat, please let me know. A person who says, I'm a capitalist. I'm a capitalist. I want people to get their money. It was like, dude, why don't you just run for Republicans? Because that's all they're good for. But again, I have more respect for George Bush than I would do Donald Trump. I have more respect for Mitt Romney, who could have won the presidency, but he didn't. I have more respect for Mitt Romney than I do Donald Trump. You get what I mean? I have more respect. This is your fault, Lisa. I have more respect for Ross Perot than I do. I have more respect for George Bush Sr. than I do Donald J. Trump. Now, let me continue. Run into more comments because I like what she stood for, not just for within her district in Texas, but for the U.S. and I should have read that. How you are how you are calling out white supremacy and for which it stands. Now, question. Who, Republican or Democrat, has actually called out white supremacy? I'll wait. And people will say, it's just an act. It's just an act. Anybody can do that. Anybody can call white supremacy. Oh, no. Not everybody can say that. That's to say, for example, Charlie Kirk was a white supremacist and what he stood for was basically Nazism, in my opinion. Because anybody who will say that, people who are against Charlie Kirk, who are online with him, who would dare go town after town and say all these bunch of things, they get what they deserve and blah, 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 blah. I was like, you're actually throwing out threats. And you're actually blaming, and this is what most white folks do. They absolutely positively blame everything that happens to them on us. Like we had any and everything to do with what happened with Charlie Kirk. And to be perfectly honest with you, I didn't know who Charlie Kirk was until, there's only a few clips that you can play for me. And I was like, okay, cool. He's the average. He's a better Richard Spencer, put it that way. He's a better Richard Spencer. He's a better Sean Hannity. Hell, he's surpassed, Charlie Kirk surpassed Bill O'Reilly. Not saying that Bill O'Reilly is all the way rightist or whatever, but it is what it is. He's not all the way Jack Taylor. And Jack Taylor is the biggest. Now, if I said the name wrong, I apologize. But Jack Taylor is the biggest white supremacist you can ever meet. And shouts out to the Black Authority for interviewing this guy. We're just not used to seeing people going back and forth in the government. So Jasmine gave the disrespect back. Yes, she had to. Gave the disrespect back to some individuals are so disrespectful. If you give me disrespect, I give you this respect back. It's called energy, right? You push me, I push you. It's as simple as that. We're supposed to be in here with think tanks, not like minds, because everyone's different, but we're supposed to be a think tank and we're supposed to be making these decisions. But this going back and forth, it's very new to me, because like I said, politics wasn't my strong suit until a person said, just threw this in my lap. So, it's something that my interests have peaked, and it's all because of this woman that I am sending the message out. And of course, like I said, she's a busy woman. Yet, of course, if she wanted to come up on a live stream per se, and that's like an 85% chance that she probably won't, but let's just say that she does. I need to get my ducks in a row, right? And I'm gonna need a woman candidate, Lisa, to come in here, come up and assist. Since Barb won't do it, I'm gonna need somebody, a good candidate, a good woman candidate, Lisa, to actually, come up here and assist your boy with certain questionnaires. But let me continue. Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, AOC, Kamala, Cory Booker, and of course Jasmine Crockett, to name a few, who have called out white supremacy. I never heard Warren call out white supremacy. I've never heard AOC call out white supremacy. Named out that outright, say that. I have never heard her say that. I have never heard her say. I might have to go back a few clips. I have never heard Cory Booker weak. I'm not saying he's weak. Touch me and I'll sue Cory Booker. Touch me and I'll sue Cory. I'll come up and help. Oh, good Lord Jesus. Okay. Let me hurry it up. Where was I at? As well as call out white supremacy, as well as hold congressmen accountable for the lack of duty to the United States. Now a little birdie twerked in my ear and said that you were planning on becoming a U.S. Senate, and that will be good for Texas, in that part of Texas that you're in, the dirtiest district, which would be a great thing if you did run. I myself and 1,000 others would love for you to one day run for the presidency. And here's some list of reasons why. Now, I didn't even list the reasons because, I was just so busy. But one of them I will list, and that is class. Now, class is a state of mind. Class is a state of being. Jasmine Crockett, to me, you have classification as well as communication skills, unlike Trump, to negotiate deals on the table, to better your competition, in my opinion. I wrote that wrong. I should have rewrote it. How you gain attention. Let's just put it this way. How you gain the people's attention, even people in my district. Some of them wear t-shirts with your name on them. And I live in the state of, Nevada. I live in I was going to say Los Angeles, California. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada, right? Where this is a tourist town slash sports town now. I mean, there was few little hundreds of thousands of people here, very few, but now it's starting to grow into, millions of people who want to move here, right? Coming from LA, coming from Mexico, coming from Washington State, coming from all sides to come live here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And some of them on the streets, I'm not saying all, they all scream your name, believe it or not. But, there's also Trump supporters. I support Trump because of this, and I support Trump this because of that. There's a bunch of bullshit. But it's the attention that you gain in your district and the people of Congress who, they all look at you and you read volumes to other people. It's amazing. So class is one of those. Class is one of them. Integrity is another. Integrity is another one. You have more. Is this worth even saying that you have more integrity than Trump? Does Trump have any integrity? Put a one in the chat if you think Trump has more integrity, or put a 2 if you think he doesn't have integrity. Number 3, you don't take shit from nobody. That to me, and the way you look, of course, that's why I would call you mad. But here's where people pick on you. People pick on you because they believe you don't have any policies or how it go. But you have done stuff, and you've raised money. You have helped the poor. You have done a variety of things within your district, and you have gone to other districts to help those people out within the Democratic. Well, it pretty much, Republican or Democrat, we're all in the same boat when it comes to poverty. Most of us, anyway. We're all in the same boat when it comes to poverty, and when it comes to jobs, when it comes to health care. We're all in the same boat. And that is, it's very expensive. Now, what these Republicans want to do, they want to make it more expensive and more not affordable. So you have class, you have integrity, you have the education. Well, we all know you're a lawyer. You're also a civil rights lawyer, right? To me, I'm not saying more intelligent than anybody else, but to me, you're a better candidate. You're a better candidate. I didn't come up with anything else, but if you can tell me any other qualifications that she has for becoming the president of the United States, because I just listed 4. There's probably a 5th one that comes in my head, but in my opinion, what you have done thus far, what you are continuing to do, what you are planning on doing, because of your voice, because of your integrity, because of your swag, because of what you bring to the table, I will vote for 10 times over. And I will take my vote with you. The same with Obama, but a little bit with, a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? Little bit seasoned into the politics side of it. I would take my vote very seriously. And if there was 10 of me, I would definitely vote for you. Like I said, 10 times over. But as I grow, as I continue to grow, and as I continue to learn laws within, the Supreme Court and how they work, how I will continue to learn my district. And speaking of which, Congressman Sarah Lee, who is in my district, I would prefer, as Lisa would all the way tell me, right, to get with the people in your district about whatever it is that you're going to be complaining about, right, or what you need to complain about. I need to do the exact same thing, because it's like, how dare me wanting Jasmine and Crockett to become something bigger than life, and you don't know the people in your district. And she was absolutely right about that. For the simple fact that, again, a small town boy like myself who grew up in Lansing, Michigan, who came here to the state of Nevada and in Las Vegas, Nevada, to happen to wanting to appoint a woman who is 44, 45 years of age, looking as good as she wants to look, knowing what she's going to be possibly suffering from, just like Obama, what he had to endure, what he had to face, what he had to suffer from. It's like high risk, high reward, but right now it's like she's not even running for office, and she's already getting death threats. She's already been told that she has to be fitted for a bulletproof vest. She's gotten that, even though she's living in the state of Texas. In the state of Texas, they carry. Jasmine, she does. Oh, there's another thing. You do believe in carrying. You do believe in carrying, firearms. And I like that. But correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't Trump want to get rid of the Second Amendment? He's already infringed on the 1st, 2nd, 13th, 14th, 15th, the 22nd, 21st, and 22nd Amendment. But you want to volunteer troops, and you want to violate laws. You want to violate the Insurrection Act of 1807 and bring in troops and onto American soil. I believe this is the person who can really stop Donald Trump, in my opinion, because she absolutely has that voice. No disrespect to Corey. Corey's my guy. I have no disrespect to Corey. No disrespect to AOC. No, he wants the Second Amendment RNC. Lisa, you want to bring your tell up here. Tell up here. I didn't want to. She is on me. 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 She is on me And rightfully so. I thank her, and I thank all people to absolutely get to some things. And I'm gonna go ahead and bring your little, go ahead and bring yourself up here, ma'am, madam, since Barbara's so scared. But back to this. This is my choice. I don't ask for people's permission if it is my choice, because this is absolutely my choice. I wish for this. I wish for this one day upon a lucky star for it to happen. I wish for her to run for presidency. It may not be in 2028, might be in 2032, possibly might be a chance in 2036. But this is what I am continuously pushing. Whether you like it, love it, hate it, doesn't matter. I am willing to push this envelope. If I have to go out into the streets with picket signs, that's what I'm going to. Picket signs with everybody following behind me, whether it be by myself, be 3, be 30, be 300. That's what I'm going to do. I am absolutely positively pushing the envelope for this wonderful American African to become the president of the United States of America. And if anybody doesn't like her for any other particular reason other than her, possibly her policies or politics or whatever the case may be, you're going to have a problem with me. You are going to have a problem with me. Now, I'm not going to treat this as some type of, regular YouTube type content. I'm going to treat this as professional as I possibly can. Now, if you want to go that route, please do so. I have no problems cussing your ass out. I have no problems with that. I have no problems, going to the lowest of lows of you. I rather have that particular conversation with you but I'm not going to change. I'm not going to change your mind. I am not Dean Withers. I'm not him. I am not that guy. I am not him. I am not Reese Waters. I am not him. I will never be him. You see what I'm saying? This man has 55,000 subscribers or something like that, 155,000, whatever the case may be. I am not that guy. I'm me. I am basically a little baby, right? I am crawling because for the longest time, and I still think this way, although I magnified it to the point where it's like you don't have to choose a side. Choose a person that makes sense to you as far as a human being, as far as being positive. Now, can anybody be bought? Absolutely. Can anybody be put in place in power and be corrupted? Absolutely. But this is where we hold the feet to the fire, and this is where we put our money where our mouth is, and this is where we hold people accountable. For example, anybody that says anything Trump, we can be canceled, quote unquote, because he's trying to cancel the fifth branch of government because they keep putting his name in his mouth, but rightfully so. Because you keep doing and saying dumb stuff. You're no president to me. Donald J. Trump is no president to me. He's not even a businessman, in my opinion. You know what I think? I think because of the influence of his father, who was a Klans member, by the way, the influence of his father, I just think he just built the business just to put people in there. Don't know the ins and outs or anything. Don't even know, just do contracts, and he just gets paid off the contracts while he's off somewhere, off in the shore somewhere with a whole bunch of white women, and also just with a whole bunch of women doing God knows what. Because if that wasn't the case, then how come here in the state of Nevada, he has a building that he does not own? How come in the state of New York, he has a building that he simply does not own? He is irresponsible, lack of judgment, but yet he can hang out with Snoop Dogg. He can hang out with Cube and them. He can hang out with Ye, and everything's all right. He can hang out with celebrities, and everything is A-okay. And he constantly gets rich and rich and rich and rich, and filing for bankruptcy and filing for bankruptcy. Now he's in trouble. He's definitely going to be in trouble once he's out of office. But we seriously want this man impeached. I'm waiting for Lisa. Lisa, where you at? Where you at? Where you at, Lisa? Want to come challenge the king? No, playing. Stephen A. Smith, amongst others, but we're gonna put them in. There's plenty of people on the internet who despise Jasmine Crockett for, the things that she says, how she says certain things. Who the cares? I mean, literally, who the hell cares how she speaks? I mean, again, people expect her to act, dress, and talk white. Elizabethians, I believe in the Fifth Amendment. There is the right to bear, or excuse me, is the Second Amendment, where the bows and supposed to be is bows to bear arms and witness, and excuse me, I do lines of coke. And this is for true. We believe in freedom and happiness and community amongst the people. You're a dumb black bitch from, where is she originally from? I forgot where she was originally from. Did anybody tell you you're a rich kid from Virginia? You're a dumb black bitch. Excuse me, I don't atone for that language. I really don't atone. I would like for you to calm down and come to the congregation on a cup of tea. No, I'm a dumb black bitch. I was like, if I wasn't so busy, if I wasn't running for something, I'll be whooping your ass. It's like people, I don't know where these consumers or these conservatives, not consumers. I don't know where or why these conservatives think they hold this much weight on the hands of a person who don't even listen to them. Jasmine don't listen to these people because they're just full of shit. They're just literally full of shit. Thus, you want us to live a certain way. You're tired of being told what to do. So you just, or excuse, I said all that wrong. You are literally tired as a consumer of you working twice as hard as everybody else in your community, and they're collecting food stamps. Did you know that the average person, the average Black person, and that's a mere 26%, only collect food stamps? And there's nothing wrong with absolutely having assistance. There's nothing wrong with that. Hell, I have assistance. I have food stamps. And it absolutely helped my family. Was I looking for jobs? Absolutely. I have one. I have a job. I have a job, and it's suit my purpose. I'm in a new facility. It's looking nice. It's looking fresh. You know, other things will come into place sooner than later. But some of us are still struggling. Some of us are still struggling due to white supremacy, due to the fact that this goalpost always being moved, no matter how hard you work. Why do you think Donald Trump took away the educational system so bad? He appointed a wrestler's wife. He appointed a wrestler's wife in Linda McMahon to take care of the education system because Vince Kennedy McMahon has money. This is who Donald Trump picked. He picks yes men. If you're making money or you're not making money, he picks yes men. At one point in time, Marjorie Taylor Greene, which I still don't trust, by the way, Marjorie Taylor Greene was all kissing Trump's bare behind. Now she has turned a corner, per se, and said, I don't like what my party is doing to the American people. Now, do I trust this woman? Absolutely not. You got to show and prove for me to absolutely put you into that category of I trust this person to do the absolute right thing. What is there? I mean, you were kissing ass for so long. It's just like you just flip the switch. Now, if Jasmine Crockett, if she's with you, I guess she's with you then. But I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you with my third eye open. Number one, I don't trust white folks. Number two, you could say that, when it comes to healthcare, and again, I have to put myself in the student realm. I'm the student. And until it's time for me to become the teacher, I am in the student realm. I'm a student of the game. Medicaid and Medicare are very important factors, right? But what I've learned and what I was told, this is what it was told to me. The reason why the shutdown happened in the first place was because of Obamacare. If I'm wrong, please tell me I'm wrong. I'm gonna say it again. The one thing, and there might be a few others, but this one thing I can mention, the one thing that the one reason why the shutdown happened in the first place wasn't just because Donald Trump, was planning all these things and, distracting money from this resource and that resource and that resource and that resource. I ain't trying to hear all that. He did this because he does not like Obama. Because Obama put him, if you go back, put him, like, embarrassed him. Totally embarrassed him. Hell, he had that swag. He can do that. Donald Trump can't roast anybody. Donald Trump can't do shit to anybody. But he can grab a woman by the coochie. And that's okay with most folks because they're disgusting. And I'm not going to even go there what he said about his daughter anymore. That's just disgusting. But people love pedophiles. People love, destruction amongst other people, even though it's going to harm other innocents. That's just what people do. I'm looking in the chat. Y'all going off. I'm sitting right here, hungry, wondering if I'm going to eat. That's probably a little of it. We-On-Loc. There is a lot of stuff mixed in there, but we all know the meat and potatoes of this thing. He does not like Obama. He does not like Obamacare, and of course, he's going to distract money from other people who did it. He asked for $230 million for crying out loud because he was wrongfully prosecuted. And that's he calls it his, what did he call it? He called it his reparations. And now the Republican Party has no choice because he's being sued. Donald Trump is being sued for not releasing the emergency funds so the people can absolutely have food for the family. We're talking about 14 million people. And you got these goofballs online. I'm not gonna nitpick, but you got these goofballs online saying that you just need to get out and work. You need to get out and work. Well, guess what? Work is intended on getting food stamps. The first place you go, Walmart, because Walmart the average wage in Walmart used to be $7.50. Now I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is right. When I applied, it was $7.50 an hour. Night, $10.50 an hour if you were doing graveyard. I'm like, what in the hell? I got somebody new in the chat. Welcome. My baby love 13. Welcome. That doesn't surprise me that you would get $7, that it would average out to a very, very low wage when we're paying high for so much? We can't do nothing with $7.50 an hour. Especially a known entity like Walmart. You would think you would be paid a little bit more than that. Again, I don't know how much the wage is right now, but you would think in an economy like this, an economy which is so it's such a capitalist, such a capitalist society now. Everything is so expensive. Food is expensive. Gas is expensive. Furniture is expensive. Home apartments are expensive. Living expenses are expensive. I really think Elon Musk is still running things behind the scenes. He's not gone anywhere. First and foremost, I'm getting sick and tired. Oh, we got somebody backstage. Incredible Lisa Carter. All right, go ahead, Gwen.
You set me up, didn't you? You set me up yesterday. I should have known. I didn't know. Okay,
ahead,
dear. You require my presence. You requested my presence, my dear.
What?
My thing, I'll just say this. You know, I love me some Jasmine. I'm behind Jasmine.
I can hear you.
You can? Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. Come. Go out and come back. Go out and come back.
Okay.
Because I cannot hear you. Wait. No. Edit her mic. Yeah, I couldn't hear her at all. I mean, I could see her mic moving, but there wasn't no audio. Exactly. He lost the master money around somewhere. Young folks crack me up talking about big back. What's going on? What's going on? People crack me up when you talk about big backs. What the hell? What is this something I don't know? I'm not that young. I'm laying all over 50. Hey, I'm about 5 years in, so don't feel bad. I'm knocking on the door. But while she is going to be returning, let me see. He's going to be returning, so to obviously grill the crap out of me, and that's to be expected. That's to be expected. But I was at Stephen A. Smith before all this went on, and of course, Stephen A. Smith is a good sportscaster as he is. I enjoy him when he talks sports. I do not enjoy him when he talks politics, because the one thing that I know, I imagine him with being rich. Oh, never mind. Because here she's coming back. Lisa, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me now?
What the fuck is going on?
Can you hear me now?
Hold on. Yeah. Okay. Let me do this. Nope, that's the wrong one. My bad. That is the wrong one. Lisa, say something.
Can you hear me? Mic check, mic check.
What in the frickety frick
Mic
is
check,
going
mic
on?
check.
You know, it's probably me. You hear Lisa, but it's probably me.
Yeah,
Hold on.
I can hear you. They can hear me.
All right, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. You got it?
Now I can hear you through here.
Okay, I could hear you all along, and they could hear
Yeah,
me.
I got it. Now I'm just gonna have to do it this way.
I can hear you through here. Okay, I can hear you all along, and they can hear me. I got it.
But I'm gonna have to do the whole echo thing.
Okay, I can hear you all along.
But go ahead and talk, Lisa.
Well, no, you requested my presence. You told me to come up. What do you want?
No. Well, I'm just saying while I fix this because it's the stream itself. But just go ahead and talk.
Well, it's like this. I love me some Jasmine. I was on Jasmine last year before she became as big as she is now. I actually had a debate up here with a guy named Craig about Jasmine. Highly intelligent, but I don't think that in 2028 they will allow her to be president. But hey, let's enjoy the ride and rally around her and try to see if we can't make it happen. You never know if something's possible until you try. But in this world of politics, right now, Donald Trump is the most powerful man in politics. That is why we're in politics. Right now, Donald Trump is the most powerful man. He has the whole Republican Party afraid of him. Behind closed doors, there are a lot of them that do not agree with certain things he's doing. There are generals that are not okay with the orders that he's giving, how he's bombing these people from Venezuela, stating that they're, drug cartels without no validity to what he's saying. He's just blowing up people, killed 13 people one day this week that way. And Jasmine is speaking the truth, but people don't like to hear the truth, not the real truth. They really don't, most people. They want to be sold a dream. They want to be sold something. I mean, look at what's going on in the country, and Donald Trump is out picking marble and gold fixtures for his ballroom. That he's not really talking about the bunker under the ballroom that he's doing. I need headphones. Oh, yeah, she has plenty time. I mean, she's young enough, she's articulate, she has the drive, but the thing that I worry about, normally in politics, there's a pecking order and the experience. She's a freshman, she's in the freshman class, um, but it only takes for the whole party to rally up behind her, at the conference, the caucus. She would first have to become that nominee in order to be on the ballot. And I worry about her safety too, because of the things she says, and a threat she is very wise to take it seriously, because just a few months ago, a congressman and his wife were murdered in their home. There have been others that have been shot in the head. The body armor, they don't go for the body, they go for the head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then you were talking about the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is not your right to vote. It has nothing to do with your rights to vote. It is your right to bear arms. And Trump is all for that. That's what the RNC is. That's why he rallies behind them. The good old gun. Let's bear arms, get all the shotguns and high artillery we can. You know,
Okay, we got another guest in here. What's going on, my guy?
Peace, family. How y'all doing?
Good, good. How
fine.
about you?
Doing well, thanks. And I have a question. And to be honest, I know you think that it's loaded, but it's a genuine question. Now, given the fact that the Black American population in Jasmine Crockett's district is decreasing, and Jasmine Crockett is still advocating for immigrants, my question is, if Jasmine Crockett was to become president, do you think that this will lead to more majority Black American cities, towns, and counties, or less majority Black American cities, towns, counties, and congressional districts?
Well, that all depends. I mean, when you talk about Black Americans, any and everybody can become a Black American. We got Jamaicans, we got Haitians. What is specifically what are we talking about here?
And I'm glad you brought that up. They cannot become Black Americans ethnically, but they are able to co-opt the Black American identity. And I'm glad you actually brought this up. So back to the focal point. Given the fact that the total number of descendants of U.S. chattel slaves, because that's what a Black American actually is. Given the fact that the total number of the total number of descendants of U.S. chattel slaves is decreasing in Jasmine Crockett's congressional district as Jasmine Crockett is advocating for immigrants. If Jasmine Crockett were to become president, would this likely lead to more majority Black American communities or less majority Black American communities?
I
Less
believe
as it stands right now, if things don't change from the way they're going now, there would have to be a change. If there's no change and things continue the way they are, it will be less because the immigrants are overrunning things. I mean, they, mass
Exactly.
produce. I mean, they're like rabbits. So, I mean, definitely less.
And I appreciate your honesty. So my question is, why are we, and I'll include myself just so it doesn't seem like I'm being antagonistic, why are we advocating for a candidate that is complicit in the reduction of Black American communities?
Lisa, you want to take this one real quick?
Well, um, my thing with Jasmine is that the things she speaks up, she brings up the things that need to be discussed, the things that people whisper in the back and in the corners and the little stations, the little small channels like these that we discuss. I mean, she is highly educated. She's not stupid. As far as her seriously being president, not gonna happen anytime soon. It's not. Donald Trump is too powerful. She's too inexperienced. There are other people that the Democratic Party would not rally behind her for her to become the nominee. Just being real honest about it. But I believe in what she is doing and what she's trying to do. If there wasn't any validity to what she was doing and trying to do, she wouldn't be everywhere and anywhere. People would not be listening about her. People weren't talking about her this time last year when I was talking about her. So, for her to be a household name now, there's something there. It's not just what it seems like. She's just, talking. She does a lot of work, a lot of good stuff, trying to bring changes. Now, I do not agree. If you are not legal, you cannot. There's a law, and it's called Clean Hands Act. You cannot be in the commission of something illegal and get something legal. So I'm at a stumper for exactly why this is going on. I understand how immigrants are doing it. I mean, mom comes over here gets pregnant or is pregnant when she gets here. Baby, we want baby to be happy and safe. So what? We've got to feed mom. We've got to pay the bills for mom. And then baby becomes a citizen. But how can that be? You don't even have a social security number. So, I'm kind of upset about that part because I'm not understanding how you're getting the benefits and you don't even have a social security number when there are people here. We have
Not
veterans sleeping on the streets, and yet we have immigrants going to the doctors and getting EBT.
not to mention you can't ask for a bigger wage than that. You can just work. You can just hire people within the lower wage that you are. Otherwise, they know what you're doing. They can just act accordingly and just deport you. And of course, there's that what you call it, due process, that due processing
The
going on.
14th Amendment, yes, the due
The
process, yeah.
due process, yeah. So that's there's that whole act. But for me, I specifically picked her because, and this for future references, I'm not naive to the point where she's not going to be running anytime soon. I was just simply saying she's a more stronger person in my opinion. I mean, there is no other candidate yet that can run the Oval Office and me being safe, me being satisfied. I mean, this is any and everyone, right? People say they like let's just say for example Bernie Sanders because of his detentions and his policies. People like um Joe Biden because of his policies. I don't like. I don't like. I
I didn't
never
like
did.
Joe Biden because of
I,
his policy.
I'm going to say I never did like Joe Biden either.
It's
But
actually because of Joe Biden we're in some of this mess. If he wouldn't have been doing the things he was doing, giving away all this high grade military equipment to the Ukraine, sitting up here having people dancing on the lawn. I mean, you know, we've had Black History Month, but I've yet to see a whole bunch of Black people dancing on the White House
you're
lawn.
you're
I mean,
preferring
a
to
lot of
to
what
the African
happened
community.
due to the things that Joe Biden did. He went too far. He did too much. He gave away too much. And it was just like, whatever you want it, you get it. And so then you come along and you have someone saying, look, I'm going to come in here and clean this stuff up. I don't really believe the people that voted for Trump really could have had the foresight to see he would go as far as he did, except if you had paid attention when the Supreme Court gave him immunity. That was it. That's why he's doing what he can do because he cannot be prosecuted for anything done while he's in his official capacity. But now,
Correct.
when he's office, it's just like this him floating around a third term. The 19th Amendment, is where we as women got our right to vote. I believe it was 1956. And so now you're trying to overturn the Constitution. You're going to rewrite the Constitution, one person. You won't get to run a third term. He's done too much to too many people. See, some of these people, like these, farmers, those white farmers that were all
Mhm.
for Trump that are suffering right now. It doesn't feel so good. They thought Trump was talking about the other people. They didn't include themselves in that. And that's what has happened. He's touched upon every class in this country. And the only ones that have not been harmed are the billionaires, his friends.
Correct.
That's the part I'm confused about because Biden literally allowed millions of illegal aliens into the U.S. and the Democrats are still advocating for illegal aliens. You even had Democrat members of Congress getting arrested on behalf of illegal aliens. My question is, how are Black Americans able to support the Democratic Party when the Democrat Party literally has an agenda to ethnically displace Black Americans by flooding Black American communities with various different immigrant groups, legally and illegally. That's the part I'm confused about. Where's our sense of self-preservation?
Sidebar, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Donald Trump married to his wife who was an illegal immigrant?
Yes. Her visa. It wasn't even a visa that would have legally allowed her to stay in the country the amount of time she was in. I mean, she calls herself this model when in actual reality, she's just another woman that takes her clothes off and gets paid for it. But they have ways of cleaning stuff up,
And
the soft
even if
terminology.
And
Go
even if
ahead.
that's true, because I don't even agree with everything Trump has done, but even if what you say is true about Trump's wife, my question is, how are Black Americans able to support the Democrat Party, which has literally flooded us with millions of illegal aliens? The Democrat Party has created sanctuary cities to give our taxes to illegal aliens, while the Black American homelessness and unemployment rate is increasing, and the total number of majority Black American congressional districts, cities, towns, and counties is decreasing. Really, that's the part I'm
Well,
genuinely
I mean,
confused about.
I mean, for me, I see it very clear and it's very simple to me. First of all, it's not the Democrats. The Democrats don't control any branch of government by themselves. Nothing can be passed without some Republicans. So Democrats didn't do anything all by themselves. It
Well, when you
required some
ask what
Republicans.
part of what I said, the Democrats not complicit in, have the Democrats not created sanctuary cities? Have
I
the
don't know
Democrats?
who created the sanctuary cities. I'm answering what
Well,
you asked about.
it was a
Why are
Democrat.
Black Americans rallying behind the Democratic Party,
Yes, that's my
advocating
question.
on behalf of these illegal aliens? And I'm answering your question saying that I don't see it like that at all, because the Democratic Party didn't do anything all alone. It required two.
No, but
We have
Lisa,
the
you're not.
filibuster. It still requires Republicans. So everybody
No, but
likes to
no,
point
but
the
you're
finger
missing my
saying,
point though,
"Oh,
because we could be
okay,
neutral. We
are you
don't have
gonna
to
let
be
me
one,
finish answering your
Oh,
question?"
but we don't have to choose one or the other. We could be neutral. So I'm just asking why we support the Democrat Party.
I don't know who we is. Who are you talking
Black,
about when you say
I'm
we?
talking about Black Americans.
Everybody that's a Black American isn't a Democrat, though.
But the
Everybody
majority
that's a
are
Black American
over
is not a
90%.
Republican.
Over 90% of Black Americans that voted for Democrats. So that's why I'm asking, how are Black Americans able to support the Democrat Party, even though the Democrats created the Biden crime bill, which mass incarcerated Black Americans? The Democrats literally passed an executive order called the Anti-Asian Hate Crime Bill. Simultaneously, the Democrats refused to pass any particular or specific anti-hate crime bill to protect Black Americans. So I'm just confused why Black
Pan,
Americans are able to support the
Pan,
Democrats.
Pan. You have to realize.
Mhm.
And again, I know your stance, but there was a time where you were Republican only.
Who? Who?
I said there was a time. Me and you weren't even born then. Me and you weren't even born in a society where we were being hanged and being uh, desecrated. Had our manhoods taken away from us. We weren't born then. But I'm
Buck
specifically aiming
breaking is
at
what
that
it's
time.
called. Buck breaking. Buck
Huh?
breaking. It's called buck
Butt breaking.
breaking.
Butt breaking. Yeah. Butt breaking. Thank you. Thank you for that. Actually, I almost forgot. But there
And
was,
I'm
like I
familiar
said,
with that, but I'm just
there
asking.
was a particular time, and there was a particular point in time where you and I never would see the light of day unless we were being castrated, or we basically had to pay a price. We had to pay a penalty You know,
No, but you always have free blacks, though. You always have free blacks. But I'm just wondering, why are we able to
where
support the
were
Democrats
those?
No, we
today,
didn't
Where
though?
were those
always
free
have
blacks?
free blacks. We didn't
Yes, we did.
always have free
We
blacks.
did,
And
though,
you
sis.
know,
We
I
did.
have a, I mean, and
Where
maybe
were those
you can
free
answer,
blacks?
Let me
maybe
answer
you
that.
can
Let
answer a
me let
question
me
for
answer the
me.
host. Can I answer the host question? The host, just for the listeners, the host asked me, where were the free blacks? Anyone listening, just Google this or chat GPT it. You always have free blacks in
And don't
Massachusetts.
say Jim
You
Crow
always,
either.
I'm trying to answer your question, brother. You always have free
Somebody has a
blacks.
lot of wind or air
That's
Are you
it.
able to hear me? Can I answer the question?
now.
You always have free blacks in Massachusetts. You always have free blacks in New York. You always have free blacks in Maryland. Even in the South, you always have free blacks in Virginia. You always have free blacks in Delaware. So it's erroneous to say that there were times where we didn't have any free blacks.
When there were Klansmen damn near everywhere.
Yes.
There was
Matter of fact, you have free blacks fighting against the Klan, winning against the Klan. Yes. But let's not deflect. I'm just asking, given the
no.
all right, go ahead, make your point, please.
Name that group that was fighting against the Klan back in the
Anyone listening?
in the
Let me answer that.
1800s.
Let me answer that. Let me answer that. Anyone listening, just look up the Dismal Swamp Maroons. Really? Anyone
A
listening, just look
very,
up the
very
Seminole Wars.
small
All
group.
right, go ahead, make your point.
A very, very small group of people who were fighting the Klan versus what was up the Underground Railroad. And Underground Railroad was tracked with thousands and thousands of white people who could slang you at any time, a point of day. You're talking about the Underground Railroad itself, right?
All right, but are you able to make your point just so we could get back to the discussion? Please make your point.
But your point makes it makes no sense,
Oh,
dude.
but do you know my point? Because you cut me off. Do you know what point I'm making?
You're talking about you said there were free blacks in those specific
Yes,
states that you were in, right?
exactly, exactly. Now, what did I say that was wrong?
Look,
Well, you know what I'd like to know. First of all, the Maroons were not from here. They were from the islands.
No,
They
no, no,
weren't
no, no. They
already
were
here.
no, no,
Well,
no.
hold up.
You're
Excuse
mistaken
me.
though. You're
Excuse
mistaken.
me. I'm not going to do this with you. You're
Yes,
not going
but
to
you're
overtalk
wrong though,
me, and
sis.
you're not going to dictate to me. You asked a question earlier, and when I went to answer it, it wasn't the answer you wanted. Just like the last time, you have a tendency to do that when people don't say what you want to say. When you want to say no,
But the
answer what I want.
Maroons were from Virginia and North Carolina. You're wrong, sis. But go ahead.
Like I said earlier, when you asked the question, we never got to have the discussion on the first part of what you asked. When you got on the thing about Black people in the Democratic Party, and I would like for you to explain to me in what congressional session and any year, any time did one party vote anything in alone?
All right. Did you hear my response? Because I addressed this already.
No,
I
I
did.
did not hear any
Well,
response.
yes. Watch how brief my response is. I never denied that both parties were complicit. My question is, how are we able to support the Democrat Party? Because the majority of us don't support Republicans. We can agree on that. So the question is, given the adverse effects of the Democrat policies, how are we able to support the Democrat Party? That was my question.
but
And I told you who is
it's the
we.
same question. It's the same question you asked Kevin not too long ago. I believe it was yesterday. You asked Kevin that same question, and he told you a specific answer. Now, to go to the Maroons that you were speaking of, the
Yes.
Maroons were originally from West and Central Africa.
Well, actually, you're wrong, respectfully.
Brother, I have the receipt right here, brother.
Yes, pull up the Dismal Swamp Maroons and share your screen, please.
You asked me about the Maroons. You didn't ask me
No, I
about
said
others. You asked me
specifically the
about the Maroons.
Dismal. I said the Dismal Swamp Maroons. You can rewind the tape. I said it more than once. The Dismal Swamp Maroons are free blacks from Virginia and Carolina. Matter of fact, this whole slave coast of, pardon me, the whole coast of Virginia and Carolina, there were maroon communities of Black Americans that spoke English. They were not West Africans or Central Africans. They were Black Americans. But it's
How
so
can
many
you
deflections. All right, go
how
ahead.
can you start in America when you're the original man came from Africa? Explain to me that.
And that's a deflection, but I'll acknowledge it. Do you want me to
That's not a
respond to that?
deflection, brother.
Exactly.
That's not a
It is.
deflection,
I
brother.
can tell you how. I can tell you how it is a deflection. You say that the original man is from Africa. That is a reference to the out of Africa theory that is not genetically verifiable. And we're speaking about
Oh,
Jamaicans. Let's
wow.
have a dialogue though. But let's have a dialogue though, because you brought it up. If we're speaking about Jamaicans or we're speaking about Afro Brazilians, you don't say, well, capoeira or samba, that was not created by Brazilians. Really, it was created by Africans. No, we
It
give
was created
homage.
by Africans.
It was created by
The
Afro Brazilians.
Brazilian martial arts was created by Africans.
Well, I'm
They
gonna ask you a
couldn't use
question. Then.
martial arts against the slave master. Stop. They
Let's
couldn't
have
use
it.
they
All
couldn't
right, go.
use martial arts against the slave master, so they used it in they created it in dance. You're talking about
All
that
right, and
capoeira?
we on lock. We on lock. When you done with your diatribe, please tell me how we can support the Democrats. Let's get back to that. So go ahead, go on your diatribe, your deflections, and then let's get back to the dialogue. Go ahead.
How about if I just kick you all together? Because
Okay.
number one, you went completely left, came back around the other, you came back around and did a detour, and they're going to tell me after me. I know martial arts. I know where it comes from. You're specifically telling me that martial arts does not come, most of your martial arts does not come from Africa. Jiu-jitsu comes from Africa. Kickboxing comes from Africa. Karate comes from Africa. Ninjutsu, the first African American. Oh no, my brother, you done disrespected. The first African American ninjutsu came from the specific coast of Africa. I forgot where that was, but that's not my point. My point is you're going to disrespect your Africanity when everything originated from Africa. Kevin told you that. Another person told you that, and now you're coming over here to try to deflect. I ain't gonna let you do that. I'm not gonna let you do that a second time. Go ahead, Mama Lisa.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I just listened to that young man, but I'm going to go back to what Lisa was talking about there. It just seems like it's too much. How you say it? I know I'm country, but windmilling for immigrant. I'm on that point. That's let's go back to that. What she was talking about over here in America, the Democratic Party and thing. That's what I've been noticing. And that's what I do not agree with. Windmill for us, they've been doing a lot of windmilling for other folks. And so I'm just come up to say I agree with what Lisa was saying. Everything that Lisa was been saying is what I be thinking. I say too, maybe not on a pound, but I got the same headspace where she's at. And I enjoy your show, We-On-Loc. I do. So that's all I come up here to say. I enjoy listening to you young folks. Y'all keep on. Y'all carry on. I'm going back down here in the chat now.
You sound like me. I'm about to go back to the chat too.
Now, Lisa, stay up there and keep talking. I'm enjoying you all's conversation because I learn stuff as well. Because I'm like We-On-Loc. I wasn't much into politics when I was younger. But this here thing done got deep out here. We need to pay attention, to what's going on.
Exactly. That is exactly right. And that's how the establishment has been getting over all this time. We have people like this guy. He comes up here every single time wanting to dominate, manipulate, and then be dismissive of women. And I'm not having it. You asked a question and I give you an answer that's a viable answer. But that when I ask you, tell me what congressional legislative body voted one party past anything. That's what kills me. When we say immigrants, let's be real. We're talking about the Mexicans. They're not talking about all immigrants. We're not talking about the
Now we got the
Chinese
rest of,
and the
you know,
Indians. All
you
these other
because
immigrants,
I
they're
mean,
not talking about them. They're talking about the Mexicans and the borders. And I agree. You cannot, like I said, there's a law and it's called the Clean Hands Act. Look, you can look it up. You cannot do something illegal and then ask for a resolution legally. So if you are illegal, I don't understand. I'm in this country. I can't get all these goodies and bells and whistles. I have to work for what I've gotten. I had to work very hard. Nobody gave me anything. You know, I'm tired of people coming over here off the sweats of what Black people went through.
yeah, you're right. Cause
Everybody
look at here,
benefits from what slaves have done.
you sure right, Lisa. Look here, look here.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Hold on a second, people. I have something to address because I have proof. I have the receipts right here in my hand. Facts over feelings, right? He's talking about
facts over feelings.
Yeah.
He talked about specifically the Maroons. The Maroons were
From
originally, Black man and Black woman come originally from where? The dark surface part of it's called Morocco. That's in Africa.
And what did I say? What did I say? What did I say when he said that? And I told him the Maroons further from the islands. That's what the Maroons are about. They spread it out through the country. And yes, they bucked on the establishment, but they went to different parts of the United States. They were not originally from the United States. Go ahead.
Let me finish because you cooking with fish grease. The Maroons were originally from West and Central Africa and escaped slavery in the Americans. What's originally wasn't called America, but we're not going to get into that. Formerly independent communities thought out the Americans, particularly in the mountaineers region of Jamaica. They established communities in places like the highlands of Jamaica, the Great Dismount Swamps of the United States, and parts of Brazil, Mexico, and Colombia. So what's your point? How they originally started to where they ended up. What the hell is your point?
Some people like to use a lot of smoke, you know, they like to blow a lot of smoke. And, you know, like I said, I asked him a question and he never made not one attempt. I would have loved to have heard his answer, but I understand he did not have an answer. He never has an answer. He comes over here and he needs to get his own channel if he wants to dictate to you and dominate the panel. Like, you know, he came up, I was invited up. You asked me to come up here, just like the last time. You invited me to come to the show the last time. He came up just like he did today. I'm not on what he's talking about. I'm talking about what's affecting Lisa and my family, what I see hurting us. These Mexicans come over and they have their nerve to look down on Black people. They think they're better than us and they're getting all these benefits. I do not agree with that portion of what the people who are supporting the immigration, because they shouldn't have been getting assistance in the first place. Do you realize how many veterans we have sleeping on the streets? How many people that have served this country so other people could sit up on their derriere and be protected? And you mean to tell me they can't get food stamps? They don't have medical insurance? There's something wrong with any party. I don't care if it's Democrat, Republican, Independent, whoever. There's something definitely wrong. When we have people in this country hungry, the government is shut down and Trump just sent trillions of dollars to help another country's government because they're shutting down. They can't run and function. And we allow this. They get over on us because we want to get out, run our butts out when there's a presidential election. Go ahead. What'd you say? What did you say?
I said, but they supposedly, allegedly have no money here.
Right,
They had no
right.
money to fund 14 million Americans who are running out of food stamps.
Which we already know that's a lie because there's an emergency fund that Congress set up. It was set up for this specific reason here. And my thing is, two federal judges, several states have sued Trump over the EBT thing and the Medicaid thing. And two states have set up, and the federal judges have ordered Trump to release those funds within it was supposed to be in 2 days. So when he doesn't do it, which he hasn't, he was over here passing out pumpkins and sugar nosing it with some people. What's going to happen to him? See, that's the problem. When you have actions that have no consequences, then you think you can just run over the place. Like I told you the other night, like I say, let's just take Lady Justice, for instance. They say justice is blind. You know, I told you, when you start studying politics and the law, you have to pay attention to the terminology and how things are worded, because that's where they jam you up. When you say justice is blind, they've told you everything you need to know there. But if you don't get it there, look at Lady Justice. She has a blindfold on. She has the scales or tips. So how do you possibly think you're going to get a fair shake? Because they put it right before you, but you don't see it, because you're too busy worrying about Cardi B or somebody else, you know? I mean, we have got to learn and look from our past mistakes if we're going to ever come up out of this and have people like Jasmine Crockett as president one day, or the other little girls that are out there that now can sit up and say, you know, it's possible, or the young Black boys and say, you know, I know it's possible. There was a time a Black child could now say, I want to be president, and it be serious. No matter what people dog Obama about for or agree, he broke history. I have lived my lifetime, and I'm not young, to see a Black man in the White House, something I never thought I would see. Our children now can have that in their visions, and it be seriously. But if we don't start doing something, it will not be, because what they do, we come out for the presidential elections to vote, but we miss all the other elections for the senators and the House members. And that's what's important. That's who passes the laws. That's who decides what the president can do and do. The president really doesn't get to do anything without Congress. And he has the Supreme Court, he has the House, and he has the Senate. And that's how he can run amok. But we've got to learn. We've got to at least get out here and vote. If more people would have voted and wouldn't have been all hung up on Kamala, because see, I'm like this. We already knew the devil we were dealing with Trump. Kamala couldn't have made anything as worse as Trump has. Trump has tearing this country up. He's trying to start a war. He's alienating all of our allies. We are looked at in the world now. Can we trust America to stand on their word because of Trump? He set things in motion that it will take generations to clear up. And then, you know, we've got to learn how to, men like this guy who likes to come up here that was just up here. That's a waste of time. What you're talking about is a waste of time, as far as I'm concerned with, because at the end of the day, what's your solution? What do you have that's going to bring about?
Excuse me, Lisa. Excuse me. We-On-Loc. This here, Mama Lisa. I'm not going back down in the chat, because she's saying everything that I want to say, so ain't no need to saying it twice.
Oh, go ahead. No,
go ahead, Lisa. No, baby. I'm enjoying the show. I'm enjoying, like my mama used to say, I'm gonna let you young folks have it. I'm enjoying the show.
You know, I just want you to know, Mama Lisa, I just want you to know, Loc set me up. Loc set me up. I just want you to know it. He set me up.
Loc set me up. First and foremost, you were the one that put this on my lap. You did.
And it was a good thing.
You put this on my lap.
You were getting ready to leave, and
you got me looking up Supreme Court justices.
That's right. I certainly do. I have you looking up Supreme Court courses, federal, civil, criminal.
Barb
You're
is too
right.
scared to come up here. She
Well, I
started it
came up.
too. But Mama, you said something. I wanted to question. Oh, she left. I wanted to question because she
Oh,
mentioned she mentioned something specifically. Oh yeah, that of course Republicans and Democrats can't be trusted. And she said, I said it like this. I was like, that's why they created independence. Independence just
mhm.
means undecided. I'm undecided on one particular person for one particular position. That's all that means. And of course, you don't have to go Republican, 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 or Democrat, Democrat, Democrat. You can go Republican, Democrat, or whoever, right? There's always this thing that we can absolutely do. It's called talking to these people, actually going up or calling, getting on the phone and actually getting on the phone with these people and ask them what their plans are, ask them what their politics are, and go to these different venues and go to these different community centers. If it's church or it's some venue that they're holding, and meet these people and talking with these people, right? You can absolutely do that. I can, just like I know I can absolutely talk to Jasmine if I was in her district, but I'm not. I'm here in the state of Nevada. Now, Sarah Lee, I can
You're
speak to
breaking up. I
because
don't know
she's
if
in
that's
my
just
district.
locked. I don't know if that's just on my end, but you keep breaking up. You're going in and out. I don't know if they can hear it, but I can't.
Sarah Lee, right? She's in my district.
Mm-hmm.
She's a congress. I can absolutely
Mm-hmm.
speak to her because she's in my district.
Mm-hmm.
I can't speak to
Mm-hmm.
Jasmine Crockett because she is not in my district. She's in a
Mm-hmm.
whole part of another state. But
Mm-hmm.
as I mentioned before throughout the stream, uh, my reasonings for pushing this real hard, and it's because that I see something in other people that I just don't. That's just me. I wouldn't push. I wouldn't do you like this. If you were to vote for Ross Perot, I keep mentioning his name. If you were to vote for Ross Perot, I would. Me coming up to you and say, "How dare you vote for Ross Perot? You're not American." I don't do that. I just look at you and say, you probably gonna dumb as a box of rock, but it's absolutely your right. It's your right to vote for Ross Perot because that's your guy. But when with stupid games, you get stupid prizes, I guess. The same thing with Trump. I don't know why, and Lisa helped me out with this. I don't know why people would vote for a person who has violated the first, second, 13th, 14th, 15th, 19th, 21st, 22nd Amendment, has 34, about to be 35 counts of, what was it? Lisa? Lisa? She left. 35 counts of, it's just crazy in 4 different states.
Well, my thing is with that also, whenever you are elected into any office, you take an oath. And in that oath, you swear to uphold the law. And I'm just trying to comprehend and make sense of this. We have a convicted felon, 34 counts, that was allowed to be put on the ballot to run for president and seriously was allowed to do it and become president.
Hmm.
But there are plenty Black people and people that go to prison on felonies that most of them don't even know that they have the right to vote when they come out of prison if they are not on parole or probation. A lot of them think, oh, I can't vote because I'm a convicted felon. So if you're a convicted felon and you're on parole or probation, you cannot participate in an election, but yet a convicted felon can run for president. So I'm trying to understand that. That makes no sense. And see, it's like this that we, as the voters, going to our congressmen and our senators, our senior senators and sophomore senators, and people like that, these different committees, like you hear me loud talking about the oversight and the judiciary committee, which Jasmine's on those committees and they have a job, they have meetings. These things are televised for free that you can sit up and see. You can sit up, you are the constituents of whoever in your district is elected, whoever in your state. Things like even the attorney general, Pam Bundy, she is the United States attorney general, but every state has an attorney general. Just like I told you, every state has a Supreme Court, but the U.S. Supreme Court is the top Supreme Court that Trump has put in his pocket. Now, them as well is some of the things
Lisa,
he's doing.
we have a guest. Hey, Lisa, we have a guest up here. I believe Crockett wants to speak to us. I don't know if this is Crockett or not, but she absolutely wants to speak to us. You want to speak to her?
Yeah.
Okay, there she is. Oh, I'm messing with you.
All right. All right. I'm announcing my candidacy for the president for 2028. I will be running. I would like to have the support of all you out there. Any issues and concerns, you better believe I know what it is to be in the muck and the mire. I will fight for you. I will not let you down, and I cannot be bought. Now I'm just messing with you. Can I go now? Can I go now? Do you guys have anything else you want me for in the chat, or you like? Can I go?
You wanted to come up and grill me.
I've been up here for a long time. Well, look at Barbie. Do you see those faces she's making?
You wanted to leave.
You don't want me to go, Barbie?
Me anyway. For somebody else, you wanted to leave me.
You are doing just fine on your own. I am so happy for you and glad to see the growth you've made. You guys don't know. He has come so far in such a short period of time. Really. He has learned so much. It hasn't been that long. And I'm gonna just have to tell your business. Locke was getting ready to leave. He was on his way out. I'm not going to tell you guys what I told him, but I just wanted him to understand he might have been wasting his time and his talents on other things. And now he sees that he has a passion, a drive for something else. And it's a beautiful thing, I think. I won't forget your cookies. Did you want the barbecue plate too? I thought I heard you at the door. Was that you, Pull Up, Barbie? I thought you were here to get your plate and cookies. No cake? You don't want any of the carrot cake?
She don't want no cake. She don't want nothing. No, she
Oh,
don't want nothing because she don't want to come up. She don't want to come up and face. She don't want to come up and face the music. That's all that is.
Oh, that would be awesome. Why don't you come up, Barbie? That would be awesome if you would come up. Come on.
She's scared. She's
scared. She's at work. No, I think she said she's at work. I think she said she's at work. Oh, there she is now. Come on in. Come on in. Have a seat, girl. Help yourself.
Damn. She gonna work. Go on, Lisa, and handle your business. Go on, Lisa, and handle your business. Excuse me.
The child of mine is waiting on me.
Yeah, go on.
Bye-bye, guys. Thank you for having me.
You are not at work. You're absolutely welcome. You're absolutely welcome. And I will be later. But no. In all serious business, In all seriousness, when I pull up my receipts and you try to debunk the receipts that is is there, it's signed and it's binding, and you go against that, and you go against my African people, you go against African people, period, that's a problem for me. And that's something I will not tolerate. I am not FBA. I must say it again. I am not FBA, and I damn sure ain't Eagles. I'm Pan African to the fullest. That only means Pan African only means we share information with not just our brothers and sisters from here, but our brothers and sisters from Africa. Abraham Taribe is doing a fabulous job, and I definitely support my main man, my Pan African king, Abraham Taribe, over there in Burkina Faso. Bless up. Bless up to the black community. Bless up to my Jamaican descendants. Bless up to my Jamaican descendants. Bless up to my Haitian descendants. Don't play with me up here. Y'all going on any and every which way, any other in this direction, that direction. I'm staying right here. I had to say goodbye to my Haitian friends. I had to say goodbye to my Haitian friends, and I've been knowing them for 9 years. I had to say goodbye to them. And it hurts my soul to have to say goodbye to a people who had done nothing to me but be kind to me and my family. So y'all can kiss my ass with that shit. Y'all can kiss my ass with this whole phony black American bullshit. Because all y'all doing is just separating yourselves. You know your so-called lineages, right? This is some that is some stuff. You're making it. Oh, the people ain't done nothing to you. The people has done absolutely nothing to you. Oh, sure, there's possibly maybe one or two people that obviously get on your nerves, but overall, as a people, no. Even the people in that country, obviously, they question you. It's like, well, what the hell is wrong with us? Americans, they come to our country and they don't appreciate us. Why? It's the same thing over there. I will feel loved. I will feel loved. I will feel some type of comfort if I was in that country. Now, I'm not going to say that there are going to be some knuckleheads. There's knuckleheads in every single city, every single state, every single country that will rob you and steal from you, even kill you. But that's only at the lowest percentages. Look at the poverty that they come from. We come from the same damn poverty. The only difference, if you look at the differences, they have ambassadors. We have a whole damn president that does nothing but steal money from you. Now, before I go, I really need to this. And even though he's white, he is not a Trump supporter at all. He is not a Trump supporter at all. But he just does debates, right? I think I got it. But meanwhile, while I look him up, I need for you to like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Please support the channel.
right, and keep in mind I'm not familiar with the specifics, is that, right, in Trump refusing to allot funding to continue SNAP benefits through November, right, he's doing something illegal, right? And it is because they found him to do something illegal, breaking some law. I'm not sure which one. I will have looked into the specifics of the case while the government shutdown is ongoing. So I actually take a lot of issue with you telling
But let me
me
ask you
that
the
you
same
don't think
question.
judges should be able to prevent the president from doing something illegal, right? Because what that tells me is that you don't want a president that plays by the
No.
rules. You don't want checks and balances. You want a dictator.
You're not hearing what I'm saying. A federal district judge, I don't believe our founding fathers ever thought that they would be the ones as part of the checks and balances. The Supreme Court is, and so far, Trump has been the only one that I'm familiar with that has had federal district judges literally try to tell him what he can and cannot do as president in 49 of the other states. And
Listen, sir, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Judges, right, have the ability to rule that people are doing things that are illegal, including the
Yes, they
president.
do. Absolutely. Yes, they do. And the
Right.
SJC
I think that's as far.
overturn.
I think that is as far as the conversation goes. Right.
Why
And
would
yes,
you say
yeah,
that?
the Trump administration can appeal that ruling. Okay, that ruling
Yeah.
can be contested. It's
And they
possible
have, and they
that
won.
ruling
14th
could be
Amendment was the same
overturned.
way.
Right. But it is the
Yeah.
case, right, that you cannot get mad at a judge for ruling that Donald Trump is doing something illegal.
I'm not mad. I'm more concerned about.
You're concerned that a judge is ruling that Trump is doing something
It has
illegal.
nothing to do with Trump. I'm concerned that if this behavior is accepted as a normal way to provide the checks and balances to the president, it's much like the 14th Amendment. The SJC didn't rule because they loved Donald Trump.
If it wasn't for these federal judges, then Donald Trump's executive order number 14160 that he signed into law his first day in office that violated the 14th Amendment would still be standing. Okay? So you should be thankful that these federal judges have made rulings against Trump and what he's doing insofar as a fight to preserve the Constitution, right, and the rights in which it offers to those that have them. Okay? If it wasn't for those federal judges, there would be so many people in this country today that, according to Trump's EO, don't have a claim to birthright citizenship, then according to his administration, would not be treated as if they have that right, even though according to the Constitution, they do. Right? And it took federal judges around America ruling that EO is unconstitutional in order for those individuals' rights to be
Has the
preserved.
SJC ruled on that?
The Supreme Court has not made a ruling on that EO, and matter of fact, they don't even need to, right? Because the federal judges already have, right? So you should be thankful to federal judges, right, for
It's up
protecting
to
the
the
constitutional
SJC.
rights of individuals in this country. Now,
But
the
it's
question
up
I
to
have
the-
for you that you have not answered yet is, why do you support Trump as president? That is the question on the top of the screen that I would like
Okay.
to hear.
I'll
Hear
give
an
you a
answer
few. I'd be happy to give you a few things. One, I'm very happy the way he dealt with Iran. Two, I really am very happy that he had the vast majority, if not all, of NATO come to Washington, D.C. to meet to try to address the.
He doesn't know what he's doing. How he handled NATO. They tell him what they're going to do, and he just says, "Go ahead and do it." He has no insight. What the hell with
Hamas-Israel issue. I'm glad he was in Southeast Asia this last week. I'm glad he's meeting with Xi. And while he hasn't been successful with Putin, and yes, he's changed his position, and that's called politics, I think he is indeed working. And again, you can believe that the Republicans are closing the government. I don't even disagree with that. But you know what? 5 senators could open the government as well. That's a choice. Neither one is good. Neither one is the savior of this country. But you can't sit and scream, people are starving, when if 5 senators, Democratic senators, said, you know what, open the government, let's get this done, let's go talk. Talking about bringing Congress back. Congress has already passed the continuing resolution. And it's up to the Senate, and the Senate needs 60. I hope to God that Trump doesn't use the quote nuclear option, because I really think that an issue like this of keeping the government open, Schumer did 180 this time. I don't know why. Not that I'm a supporter or non-supporter of Schumer, excuse me. I don't give either.
It's you people. It's you people that voted Trump in the first place. I'm not talking about his second term. I'm talking about his first term. These are for you people. This is for you people right here. This is for you people who supported Trump back in 2020.
Decide my 100% support. Never have, never will. But I don't think Trump is
Can I hop in here?
person. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I asked you why you support Trump. You gave me like 3 minuscule reasons. The first reason that you,
Minuscule?
the first reason that you gave me.
Having NATO.
Okay, thank you so
All
much. If
being
you allow me to
Washington
finish
is
speaking.
minuscule?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Right, I'm gonna go ahead and respond to your points now. Thank you so much for the interruptions. I appreciate that, man. Right. So the first reason that you gave is that he's meeting with Xi. Okay, and if you want to tell me like what he's doing with Xi, right, to help further this country in a positive direction, right, or make America great, right, make the world great, feel free, right. But at the end of the day, he also took healthcare away from 10 million people under the big beautiful bill, right? And I care significantly more about, right, the 10 million low-income Americans that lost access to healthcare than I do care about him having a meeting with Xi. Like what? And then about like Russia and Ukraine, you said that you support him because of Russia and Ukraine too. Well, I mean, matter of fact, he's a failure when it comes to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. He said that he'd end their invasion on day one. We're now 10 months into his term, and things have only gotten worse. And you said he's changed his position. Yes, he has assumed the position that Democrats have been holding for the last 2 years. So maybe, right, the blue was right all along. And then the third
They weren't successful.
They weren't successful in ending the war. Well, they didn't claim that they would, right? They absolutely never claimed that they would end the war on day one like Trump. And what they also did is they didn't back off of applying international pressure on Russia to embolden them to hit Ukraine harder. Like you understand, right, since the beginning of Donald Trump's second term, so far, we've seen Russia dropping the most bombs on a month-by-month basis that they have on Ukraine since the beginning of their invasion, right? Because, right, Donald Trump has taken more international pressure off of Russia, at least he did in the beginning of his second term, with rescinding aid and funding for the Ukrainian military. Also, have I talked to you before?
That was just a little snippet. And my God. I mean, we have a couple of people who absolutely do that. We have a couple of people who absolutely take the task of going against MAGA, which, oh, by the way, Officer Tatum, come for a second. It's not looking good for you, boy. It's not looking good for you, my guy. I'm gonna need for you to put the mic and the phone down and just be with your white wife. Just take a long vacation, because anyone who has an action figure about you kowtowing and butt breaking, and on top of that, Nick Fuentes, an alt-right white guy, puts you in your place, man, it's not good for you. It's not a good day for you. But yet you were kissing all that Charlie Kirk ass, and look where I got you. Whoo, you having one of them good problems. Shame. I want to pray for Officer Tatum since he's a Christian and all. Oh, Officer Tatum, heed my voice in sincerity. Screw you and your endeavors. because you put black folks in a very odd spot. You and the rest of these conservatives, sorry. You and these conservatives have put in Black America in this very, very odd spot and kissing white ass wherever it is you go. And look where it's gotten you. Charlie Kirk's people don't want nothing to do with you. Israel doesn't want anything to do with you. Why the hell would you? Never mind. That's like Dennis Rodman in China. That I never understood that. But anyway, you need to just And coming after Umar was your biggest mistake. But I'm gonna put that on the side. Like I said, when Nick Fuentes whoops your ass, that's an embarrassment not only to yourself but people in the black community, because he just called you boy. He just called you boy. Not once, not twice, but 10 different other times, because you were going to do something absolutely for free for white people. What they would do for a Klondike bar. And when you didn't get invited to the Charlie Kirk the funeral because you're so-called Christian and all, boy, that you started doing the snot shit. You started crying and snot came out your nose, brother. You really want to be white so bad. I'm gonna have you do a Sammy Sosa and bleach yourself, because you are completely lost. As a matter, not only are you lost from this community, we don't even know who you are anymore. You are gone. Gone. I'm sorry. Can we help you, sir? You're lost. I don't know what community, but you must belong to those communities over there, because half your audience is white. A third of your audience is white anyway. So, what do you need? What do you need over here? You're gone. You're banned. So what do you need? You need anything else? Because it's in the lost and found. We'll write it up for you, and we'll just toss it out on the other side of the fence where you're at. Do you need anything else? No. Okay. All right. Off with you. But like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And this was a great live stream. There will be many streams to come. And Jasmine Crockett for president of the United States.